Coming up on GNN, find out what has Western professors protesting on the streets of downtown St. Joseph. And just when some members of the debate team thought all hope was lost to attend nationals, a surprise donation from a familiar face. We'll tell you who next. But first, students can expect a rise in tuition for the fall 2017 semester. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brooke Anderson. The Board of Governors recently held a meeting where they did approve a slight increase for tuition coming this fall. Reporter Sydney Holzfaster joins us now from the studio to tell us just how much students can expect in tuition.
Students can expect a slight increase in tuition next fall. Last Thursday, Missouri Western's Board of Governors approved a 0.79 mid-semester tuition increase for the fall of 2017, bringing in an additional charge of $1.58 per credit hour taking effect this fall. While this new charge will not affect spring or summer courses, Missouri Western's 2017-2018 school year tuition rate won't be set until late April when the state approves the final budget for the next fiscal year. I'm Sydney Holzfaster reporting.
If you'd like to find out more about the rise in tuition, you can check out the full story on the latest issue of the Griffon News on Stands Now, or check it out on our website at thegryphonnews.com. Western professors, along with several St. Joseph citizens, joined in protest over comments made by News Press owner David Bradley on a nationally televised TV show, PBS NewsHour. Marianne Kunkel, professor of English, organized the event titled Watch Us Protest, and GNN was there to get the full story. Around 70 protesters gathered outside the St. Joseph News Press on Monday following comments made by owner David Bradley to PBS News.
We're not satisfied.
During his interview, Bradley said the people of St. Joseph are, quote, fairly well satisfied with what Donald Trump is doing now.
Use words like fairly well satisfied to say that we're turned off by protests and that we just wish to sit back and relax. He had an obligation when he went in front of a national audience to speak a little bit more nuanced, in a more nuanced way about this town.
And although Bradley did make an appearance at the rally,
you got to give credit where credit is due. He did come out. And he did take some questions.
He soon left after things got a little heated.
One gentleman kept repeating his question, and Mr. Bradley said, "You shut up or I'm leaving." And then he turned around and walked back into the building.
He clearly got irritated and responded emotionally at the end and left in a less than positive way.
But aside from the confrontation with Bradley, the protest did not encourage any violence or anger. It was simply people wanting to get their voice heard.
And I know that this is a conservative city, I know this is a conservative state, but there is diversity and it needs to be recognized.
Kunkel told GNN that this protest is just the beginning and every citizen has the right to be heard. If you'd like to see the full interview, you can check out the video on our Facebook page. Well, every week we've been keeping you updated on the recent budget cuts and how they've been affecting Missouri Western. After the university slashed 3% from the operation and travel budget, some members of the debate team told they would not be able to make it to nationals. Reporter Jessica Kopp joins us now from the newsroom to tell us more on how these students took it into their own hands to raise the funds to go.
4 students were affected by these cuts, and one of them, Kyle McNeil, decided to take matters into his own hands. So he started a GoFundMe account, and when his coach, Jason Edgar, shared this GoFundMe account to his own Facebook page, this was seen by Edgar's old debate partner, who decided to donate $1,000. This came out to be around $1,800 in total, which was enough to send the debaters off to nationals.
Once the news got out there that it was extremely important for a couple of freshmen, that's when the money started really coming in. I think they got real excited. So
I woke up and I immediately called my coach and I was like, "Did you see this?" And I was just so excited and ecstatic.
Edgar told GNN that it should be easier to plan for the cuts next semester because the total cuts should be coming in before the year starts. I'm Jessica Kopp, reporting from the newsroom.
Well, February is a month full of celebration from Mardi Gras to Valentine's Day. But this past week had students celebrating something a little more personal. Western's NAACP chapter hosted the event To Be Black or Blackish. The organization said this event was about teaching students several African American stereotypes.
My goals for To Be Black or Blackish is to educate people that you don't have to put on the front. If it's not you, don't put on the act.
Tolliver encourages students to keep an eye out for future events held by the chapter. High schoolers joined the Griffon News for High School Writing Day, where they got to see what it's like in the life of a journalist. They put together their very own news package to show you what it was like through their own eyes.
On Thursday, March 2nd, eager students from surrounding schools gathered to participate in the 15th annual Prairie Land High School Writing Day at Missouri Western State University.
I'm hoping that they not necessarily learn something, but remember who they are as writers.
Students and teachers were given the chance to share their personal experiences in the various workshops.
Just kind of hearing everybody share some of their work. I just came out of the spoken word one, and a lot of the people that shared their spoken word poetry had a lot of things to say that were really inspiring.
During the day, the students were able to choose from 11 different workshops. Each workshop provided a new perspective for the students to apply to their writing.
I really love the power of words. There's, ultimately there's evil powers that you can use with them, and you can use them for good. So that's really why I became a teacher.
At the end of the day, students were given the opportunity to express themselves through their writing at open mic.
The Griffon News Network, along with Western's Politics Club and the United Democratic Club of Northwest Missouri, are bringing a special guest speaker onto campus. Missouri Democratic Chair Stephen Weber will be here on campus to discuss with students the importance of being politically involved.
And they're trying to get people from both the left and the right to speak, to try to just engage students with a variety of perspectives so students can learn to think independently and critically for themselves about where they come down on various issues of policy.
The event will take place in Spratt Hall 101 at 7 p.m. Wednesday, March 8th. Now into Western sports, where the men and women's basketball teams battled it out on the court this past week. GNN sports reporter Bailey Ketchum is here to tell us more on the results of the game.
The men and women basketball teams played their last home game last Saturday against Lindenwood, and it was also the last home game that 6 Missouri Western basketball players will ever play at home. It was all smiles on senior day as 5 Griffon seniors played their last game at Missouri Western. And it was an exciting one to say the least, with only a 23.5 shooting percentage in the second and third quarters for the Griffons. The Griffons came back to shoot 62.5% in the fourth quarter and forced 28 Lindenwood turnovers and scored 31 points off of the turnovers. Senior forward Julia Torres left her mark on the court with a career high of 25 points to give Missouri Western a 64-56 victory to earn a bye in the MIAA tournament and clinch the number 4 seed.
This has been a successful year because they've always put us on the back burner. They didn't think we could come and do it, and all 3 of them have proved it on defense and offense that we can compete with anybody in the country.
This time of year, you just do what you got to do. You don't really go back and evaluate too much because you just got to move on. But proud of the seniors. We haven't had a senior bunch lose yet on their home floor in the last game since I've been here. That's the important thing.
It was a season finale for men's basketball and the last game for senior guard Aaron Emanuel as a Griffon. The game could not have been any closer, with a first half score of 26-24 with the Griffons barely trailing. It was a back and forth game with the Griffons shooting 62.5% from the three-point line in the second half, and Missouri Western went on a 7-0 run in the last minute of the game and took the lead 65-64 after Cole Clearman made 2 free throws with 9 seconds left. But sadly, the Lions hit a three-pointer with just 4 seconds left, taking the win of 67-65 and ending the Griffons' season in heartbreak.
No, we couldn't make the tournament because of this game. I mean, we still wanted to win it. I mean, we wanted to send Aaron out right. And anytime you lose on a buzzer beater like that, it sucks.
My job is to go bring them some help and then mesh a team together with that help. We know what we need to help these young men. And I look forward to the challenge of putting that together so that we never go through something like this again.
The men's season has come to an end, but the women will continue their season tonight in the opening of the MIAA tournament in Kansas City at Municipal Auditorium at 8:30 against Central Oklahoma. Now on to the spring sports. Baseball and softball are continuing on their successful seasons so far, with baseball sweeping Washburn last weekend in a 3-game series and will have their first home games this weekend against Southwest Baptist. Softball finally returned from the tropical weather in Hawaii with 5 wins and only 1 loss and will continue their season at home against Lindenwood next weekend. Check in next time with the women's MIAA tournament and baseball's first home weekend. I'm Bailey Ketchum for GNN Sports.
Thanks, Bailey, and thank you for watching GNN, broadcasting from the Cronkite studio at Missouri Western. You can check our next broadcast out after spring break on March 24th, but until then, stay updated on all things Missouri Western on our Facebook page. You can look us up under the Griffon News Network.